Hello and welcome to Freebie Friday. Despite the fact that this is coming out a full week after I got the computer, this is actually the first recording I'm making on the new setup, so I'm very excited to see how today goes. I've been messing around all weekend, just playing different games, and it has been so good. Oh man, but here we are. We're gonna be playing Cateau. It looked really cute. It had cats. That's really all it needed for me to want to play it. So yeah, let's just dive straight in. Well, our name is Jaye. I love this art style. Oh my goodness. Paris is truly a sight to behold. I can't get used to it, even having lived here most of my life. The scene parting the city in two, the smell of baked goods in the morning, and the buildings filled with history. Even so, living here alone could maybe be a bit mundane, but I don't have to. I share an apartment with my old friend Roselle, who studies veterinary medicine of some sort. I don't get to spend much time with her, as my job's working the evening shift at a small newspaper. Speaking of which, I had to let her know that I'll be heading to the office for the night in a bit. I knock on her door, waiting a few seconds before entering. Hello. Hey, Ro. How are you doing? I'm alright, Jay. And you? All good. Just wanted to let you know I'll be leaving for work in a few. Ask about today. How was today? How was your work? What have you been up to? Not much. School? Ooh. Yeah. I'm guessing you did not go to school today. Worked from home. This weekend. Can I help you clean your room? How about we clean up in here tomorrow? It's been a while since we did something together. It's okay. I'll do it later. But thank you for the offer. Something else then? She glances at the clock above the door behind me. Shouldn't you be going soon? You'd wind up late in not too long, right? I'm good on time actually, but it might be time to break it off. You might be right. I'm off then. I'll pass by the baker's too. Is there anything you like? No, I'm good. Alright then, see ya! Looks like she's doing alright. Everyone head for the door. Before leaving, I pat my pockets, realizing I'm forgetting something. Keys. Ro, have you seen my keys? I called it! The ones with the cork? Have you looked in the kitchen? I check and find them on the countertop. I always forget to check there. Amazing. Good thing she still keeps tabs on me, even if things are different now. What happened? Thanks. Bye! What happened between us? This turns out to be romance. I'm gonna be a mildly shooketh, but it's fine. Man, how lucky am I to have a view like this going to work? Yeah! As the graffiti says. I think to myself as my feet patter against the rounded stones of the old towpath. In the shade by the wall, I spot a cat, looking every bit as scruffy as the water looks serene. He's glorious. Roselle would love this if she were here. She always used to chase after cats, patiently gain their trust and befriend them like some kind of cat whisperer. Whenever successful, which was almost always, she memorialized the occasion by having a picture taken, like a big game hunter of old posing with her quarry. I kind of miss that side of her. Maybe a picture of my own remind her of the good old days? What happened with Ro? The thought stops me in my tracks and I study the cat in question. It's just sitting there, gazing over the water as if saying, "Yep, I rule this place." That sounds about right for a cat. Which, in fairness, it probably did by the looks of things. Looking at the time, I noticed I have plenty of it. I could at least try to get her a picture. What could possibly go wrong after? Oh no. How should I approach? See about the cat, let it know you're there and close in carefully. Better take it slow here. Slow and steady wins the race after all. And I'm not the sorceress cat whisperer Roselle. I would hate to spook it now, for it was clearly, even to me, a favorite spot of theirs. None of this cat looks particularly skittish. It has a very, well, proud bearing. It does, doesn't it? Hello there, kitty. I speak softly while closing the distance. When I'm merely a few meters away, it gives me a casual glance out the corner of its eye. I get the idea and stop. Oh. Satisfied with my response, it resumes watching over the still water. Hey, it's smiling now. I could easily take a picture of the cat's back and call it a day, but my professional pride berates me for even considering such a notion. It may not be the cuddliest cat in the world, but I will get a good photo one way or another. Wait for the right moment. I don't want to toss a rock. The cat seems to rather enjoy the view of the water. Ever so slowly, I walk up to the edge, maintaining respectful distance to the cat and sitting down with my legs crossed. The late summer's evening sun shrouding the city in a pink glow, not even the faintest breeze disrupting the mirror-like surface of the water. I glance at the cat. It's basking in the sun with closed eyes, savoring the warmth. The moment is here. With careful, deliberate movements, I fish my phone out of my pocket and lean in for a picture. The picture perfectly captures the serenity of the scene. Not wishing to disturb the cat any longer, I get up and walk away. Oh, that's gorgeous! Look at that! The reply comes through so fast, feels like I got it before I even sent the message. That's a gorgeous photo! That cat looks like a stray. How did you manage to get so close? Tell me! I just took my time with it. I took a page from your book. Gotta learn from the best. The best? Wouldn't go that far, but thanks. Did it take long to get to that point? Not really. It didn't seem to mind me being in the vicinity as long as it could keep track of me, and I did nothing hasty. Strays are often kind of chill if you don't bother them. Be careful though, they can be unpredictable. Almost forgot. Thanks for the picture. I think I'll make that my new home screen on my phone. Yay! Good chat, Ro, but I need to hurry up now. Lost more time than I thought here. Go to work, I guess. Can't just sit and take pictures of cats all day. Ooh. Work went by as usual and it was over in no time. Dawn is lurking around the corner as I'm heading for the bakery. All the little shops are closed, but the bakers are already at their battle stations, churning out their goods for the breakfast rush in the coming day. Thanks to having friends in high places, also known as the owner, I'm allowed to sneak in through the back door and get my grubby hands on breads early. Roselle said she didn't want any, but I'll get her some just in case she changes her mind. Besides, you could never have too much bread. Oh, chunky kitty! As I leave the bakery with my precious baked goodness, I notice a cardboard box next to the door, which apparently is the residence of a charmingly fat cat sleeping inside. He's glorious, and I love him. Clearly, it's being cared for to some extent, as the floor is draped with a cozy-looking blanket, and somebody's made a little roof to keep the rain out. Is it a new tenant on the street, or am I selectively blind and it's always been here? I can't recall. Amazing. Looking around, the nearby area is strangely littered with glass jars, too. Inspired by the success of the earlier cat encounter, I decide to add to win further glory by attaining a second triumphant moment, one to make Roselle the cat whisperer proud. I drop my bag and crouch next to the sleeping cat. Or what I thought was a sleeping cat. It opens an eye and looks down at me lazily. Oh my goodness. Wait a second. Alright, cat, make your move. I say with the exaggerated voice of a movie gunslinger, waiting to let the cat do the first action, not wishing to pressure it in any way. In a shocking display of Herculean effort, the cat opens a second eye and looks at me with a steady gaze. I can't help but feel like it's trying to assess me. Playing along for a quiet laugh myself, I strike a pose, showing my good side. If such a thing exists. A few seconds pass before it gets up, lacking any semblance of urgency. It jumps down with the grace of a drunken baboon, landing on its feet seemingly more by blind luck than any skill on its part. Oh, buddy! It comes over to me, rubbing against my legs with a quiet purr. Oh! Well, aren't you a friendly little thing? Giving it a few pats along the back before I go, I start to make my way home to that bed which I am now longing for. I didn't get a picture! At least, that was the theory. A very persistent furry friend demands more attention, constantly getting in my way, protesting my attempts to leave very efficiently indeed. I was gonna get a picture of him! Come on! I can't deny that it's a very charming thing. As it is, I can't really get a good shot of the cat. It's either at a bad angle or too close to the camera. I need to gain some space. Try the selfie camera. Maybe I don't need to create distance. I fumble with my pocket as I continue petting the cat with the other hand. In the position I'm sitting, it's difficult to get it out of my pocket and I struggle for a moment. Finally, I prevail against these insurmountable odds, placing the camera in front of us and snap a bunch of photos, hoping that at least one wouldn't be a blurry mess of a disaster. I go through them quickly, and there is one close-up picture of the cat's face that didn't end up looking like the photos taken from inside a tumble dryer. That's an amazing description. You'll have to make do. A few more cuddles later, I manage to extricate myself from the situation and start off in the direction of home. Oh! Baby! Well, perhaps not the best interaction on my part, this picture turned out kind of great. Wow, how did you manage to take this one? After many trials and tribulations, I managed to nab it in the end. That and approximately 42,372 others that turned out rubbish, but that's beside the point. I bet. Did you get along well? Kind of. Not bad, not great. I don't think. I was thinking of trying to feed it. That could work. Just don't give it raw fish or something. That could make it sick. Don't worry, I won't. What a day. Keychain rattling in my hand, I unlocked the door, shutting it behind me. Dumping the bag on the floor by the wall and trudging on over to the kitchen for a bite to eat before bed. I trundled past Rose's door. Shut, as always. Just a faint blue light peeking through the doorframe. She must be on the laptop again. Finally arriving at the counter, I have myself a few pieces of fresh loaf before dragging myself into the living room and to the TV. Flopping into the couch, I watch whatever happens beyond, lazily munching away. There's a documentary on about life in the African savannah. It'd be just her thing. After a few minutes of deliberation, I get up, going over to Rose's room and gently knock on her door. Hey, Ro, you up? Yeah, Jaye, what is it? Ask her to come watch TV. Can I come in? Sure. Why did you come hang out with me? There's a wildlife special on. There's lions and everything, just like we always used to catch. There's a few moments of silence. I'd rather not. Oh, what happened between these two? I want to be alone. Knowing when not to overstay my welcome, I wish her a good night before gently closing the door and heading back to the couch. Go to sleep. Never having been one for sitting around, come afternoon, I treat myself to a walk. Some might think that walking is a bit of a peculiar treat, but in a city like Paris, it really is. There's always something beautiful to see, something exciting to discover. I've been walking around the city virtually every day for years, and it still never bores me. On the contrary, it helps dislodge writer's block and distract me from other woes. One of the streets and spots I always come back to, though, is this old little street passing by the small park. The trees happen to make for a great spot to just get away from the sun on a hot day, an added bonus. Suddenly, I spot an orange fuzz in the periphery, and I instinctively know it's a cat. It's funny, the things that you notice once you're actively looking for them. Well, it's either that, or I've been afflicted with cat-engineered nanomachines altering my perception, which in all honesty is a touch unlikely. Aww, little scruffy baby! Rather than a fully grown cat, this one's a mere kitten, playing with the leaves beneath a tree. Playtime is disrupted, however, when a pedestrian tramples by, startling the little creature. Oh, baby! After having taken cover by the tree for a while, it tentatively returns to its game. Soon blissfully distracted. I'd love to join in, but I don't want to frighten it again either. Let it know you're getting closer. Considering how that person storming by scared the poor thing, I should probably let it know that I'm approaching beforehand so I don't scare it again. I walk closer, careful, with slow, deliberate movements, quietly calling out to it. I don't know if you say carefully, but... Hey, little friend, don't be afraid. It turns out kittens don't do too well on the whole hearing comprehension front. It curls into a small, nervous bundle. Don't be scared, I'm a friend. I stopped for a while, giving it some time to realize that I wasn't going to stampede by or do it any harm. Clearly anxious to my presence, I knew something to break the ice. Try to pet the kitten? It's okay, don't be afraid. I crouched down, slowly extending my hand, but not so that I touched the cat, trying to coax it to come out of its shell to me on its own accord. This approach is getting me nowhere, leaving the initiative in my hands. Ever so slowly I reach further, but just as I'm about to give it a reassuring pat on the head, it folds off behind the safety of the tree trunk. No! Realizing that I've botched this quite badly, I decided to cut my losses here to avoid leaving even worse of an impression. Getting my phone, I take a quick photo of a row before heading off in the opposite direction. Baby, he's got a collar though. Belongs to somebody. Good thing I know just the person to ask for advice. Sending Ro the picture, I take the opportunity to do just that, relaying my actions. You need to be more careful with the poor little cutie. Don't do things that can be perceived as aggressive. I don't understand. I move slowly, spoke to it in a quiet voice. What did I do wrong? Sometimes with a scared animal, the best thing you can do is leave them alone. Sure, you can observe, but stand far enough away that you can't pose a threat to it. If that seems to still get them antsy, just leave. I just didn't want to leave it all alone and frightened. You tried to do a good thing. Don't worry about it. Just be more aware of how it must think of you, and that if scared, it might not be very rational. Thanks, Ro. Hopefully we won't have had a fright next time I see it. If I do, I'll be home soon too. Oh, hopefully you won't have had a bad fright next time I see it. If I do see it again. But I'll be home soon too. Okay, that took me a second to comprehend. Wow. When I get home, I enter Rose's room. Why? I just wanted to let you know I'll be visiting the bakery lunchtime tomorrow. I need to grab a cake for Rico from work's birthday. If you want to come along, I'm sure the cat will be there. I think I'd rather stay here. They say it's gonna be very hot out tomorrow. But if you do see it, you know the rule, right? Right! When you see a cat for a second time, you must name it. I remember. I'll head out again and go to work soon. Naming the kitten. We need a name for the kitten. Good luck. When down by the canal, keep an eye out for the scruffy cat, but I don't run into it again. Alas. Work turns out like usual, pretty uneventful. After some well-deserved sleep, I head out to grab that cake. To be honest, I'm more excited at the chance of seeing the cat again than to celebrate my coworker. I should get that cat something. It looks like one that would appreciate something edible. I take a quick detour to a grocery store and quickly find myself in the small pet aisle. I have no idea what the cat likes, and the picture of the jars littered around its bed popped into my mind. Maybe they'd contained something it liked, but I can't remember what label it had. What should I buy? Normal cat treats, olives, or shrimp? Ooh, okay, I feel like cat treats is a safe option, but we'll play it safe. We'll get normal cat treats. No, that jar had to be intended for the garbage. Who'd leave a glass jar out and about for an animal after all? Oh my gosh, no, it was olives. At the end of the day, cat treats are designed for, well, cats to eat. Even if it doesn't like them, it'll hardly do any harm. I should have gotten the olives. That was definitely an olive jar, too. When I reach the bakery, I find the cat resting in its makeshift bed yet again. It seems to be quite fond of its little box, even though it is visibly somewhat too small. Good afternoon, cat! I bring thee a tribute of treats. I name you! The cat raises its head with a slow, lazy sway, letting out a big yawn, exposing a line of long teeth. It blinks slowly at me and I reach out, petting its head and scratching it a little behind the ear. Roselle sends her well wishes. She also wants me to grant you a name, if that would be okay? We name the cat. He needs a food name. He needs a food name. And looking at him, I'm thinking Toast. We're going to name you Toast. How about Toast? Does that sit well with you? Toast meows. I know it's just in response to me making sounds at it, but I can't help but add in a friendly, sarcastic manner. And then again, you don't seem to do much but sit. A pause, accompanied by continued petting, before I reach into my pocket for the treats. I've got something for you. Once in hand, I rattle the packet somewhat to get Toast's attention. The cat eyes me with a sort of semi-enthusiastic curiosity in its eyes, standing up to get a good look at what I'm doing. Opening the bag of treats results in a meow as Toast sniffs the air. I single out a treat and serve it to the cat out of the palm of my hand. Toast gives another skeptical sniff before trapping it with a paw. The treat, clearly terrified, flees out of my hand and falls down onto the bed. Toast taps it some more, making sure it cannot escape again before looking up at me with expectant eyes. Go ahead, it's yours. It's certainly not for me. However, Toast doesn't pay the morsel any more attention, no matter how I try to coax it. Aww. I suppose Toast must be a connoisseur of fine food, lacking any interest in cat treats? Well, that certainly didn't work out the way I'd hoped. I'll have to try and appease the cat somehow else. Scratch its cheeks. Don't ever belly rub a cat. They are going to go murder on you. Those puffy cheeks look fit for a good scratching. Using the tip of my finger, I gently scratch its cheek before moving to scratching it just behind the jaw. Toast clearly approves, a humming purr radiating from a very pleased cat. Aww. It angles its head to give me better access, and the scratching continues for a few moments before it turning its head to the other side, and the process is repeated. Toast purrs slowly grow more quiet until it drifts off into a nap, its head resting against my hand. Oh! Ever so carefully, I lower its head onto a bundle of the blanket bedding, succeeding in doing so without waking Toast up. I realized that I already spent so much time more with Toast than I intended, and I needed to pick up that cake already. Hesitantly, I give Toast a last pat on the head before saying my goodbyes and escaping into the bakery. I should have gotten in the olives. It's bustling with more activity than usual. When the owner scurries by, I receive the great news. Business has been going well, and they're moving to a new, bigger place not too far away. Heck yeah! I congratulate her, apologize for not having too much time to chat before taking my leave, cake in hand. That's so good! I'm home! Unlike the usual silence, Ro calls for me. Jaye, can you come over for a minute? Yeah, what's going on? When had she last been the one to call out to me? That's something I haven't considered being a possibility in a very long time. I walk over to her room. Are you gonna go out? Yes? Roselle plays with her hands as if she's unsure of how to bring up the subject. Thank you for the photos. They were nice. However, yes? That kitten. Was there anyone with it? No, it was alone, I think. Isn't that strange? For a kitten to be all alone, I mean, he did have a collar. I guess, but it had a collar, so it might just live nearby? She doesn't look convinced. You know what? I'll see if I spot it on my walk and make sure. That would be great. Do you want to come and see it with me? I can see how she considers it. How her brows furrow and her eyes trace the crevices of the floorboards. It might get scared with yet another stranger around. Best you go alone. Oh. Scared of frightening it? That's not an excuse I've ever heard from Roselle, the great cat whisperer. Maybe this case is a little bit more delicate, but it's not the kitten trusts me either. However, if she doesn't want to, I can't force her. I'll just do my best then. Wish me luck! Good luck. Hey, she's smiling more today! Empowered by her blessing, I head out. Just before leaving, I put the cake in the fridge and make my way up to the old pedestrian street again. I'm surprised to see the kitten sitting next to the tree, just like it had the other day. It feels a little strange to find such a young cat out here all alone again. I would like to have a closer look at its collar, as it might have a number or an address on it. So cute! The kitten is sitting next to the tree trunk looking at the passerby. It looks healthy, so somebody must be feeding it at least. I really hope that I'm just overthinking it. From our last meeting, I know I should be careful when I approach it. No sudden movements or sounds that will scare it. Having made my approach, I speak to it softly to get its attention. Hey baby, it's okay. Hey little friend, we need a proper name for you too, don't we? We do. Hey, you're skittish and you're orange and white. We're gonna name you maybe Moth? Moth's a kind of cute name. A Moth. Moth, what do you think of that? The kitten glances at me with big eyes, which I decide to be in approval. This reminds me I still have cat treats in my pocket. Maybe Moth will like them. But I'm not the only one with eyes for the kitten. A kid separates from his mother's hand to chase the kitty. No! Moth runs away, but in my direction. I can't let it get away. Follow the kitten. It's probably for the best to let it run. The kid's caught by his mother, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. I follow the kitten around the corner and find it hiding in a doorway. Its body is pressed into the corner, its eyes watch me carefully. This ordeal has gotten me pretty close. Maybe I have a chance here? Throw a treat to it. Let Moth come to me. Well, there's no twigs to use for play, and even if there were, I'm not sure that'd be a good idea. Maybe a bite to you would help the little creature feel at ease? This situation isn't exactly what I'm used to, but I believe in the versatile powers of food. Honestly, valid. I crouch down, toss a treat carefully so it lands next to the kitten. It snaps its eyes to the new object and sniffs the air. When it's convinced it won't move again, it sneaks up on the treat and eats it. Aww! When finished, it sits around the ground for more. I throw another one and the projectile makes Moth shy away before quickly returning to eat the food. I throw the treats closer and closer to me so Moth can get within reach. However, Moth becomes aware of that and grows more careful approaching the treat, backing away when it has grabbed it. It's a slow process, but I get the kitten close enough. I'm gonna let kitten come to me. I slowly pick out a few treats and place them in my palm. I extend my hand slightly in front of me, making sure the kitten can see them. Moth looks at them, but hesitates, so I throw one of them halfway between us. The kitten crouches down and sneaks up to the treat, carefully watching me. After stacking on the nearest tree, it looks curiously at my hand, stretching its head out. It takes a reluctant step towards me, and I have to stay completely still. Movementless like a statue, a gargoyle on Notre Dame. Or, maybe not a gargoyle, they come to life, right? As Moth comes closer, it grows braver and walks up the last steps to smell my hand. I feel its whiskers tickle my fingertips, but I stay still as I stay as still as the mountain, not fountain. Moth takes the first treat, and I can clearly hear it snap as it bites into it. One after the other, the treats disappear until my hand is empty. I know Moth won't like it, but I'll still have to grab it to check its collar. My hand eases closer and picks the kitten up. I quickly press it against my chest to stabilize it. Moth tenses up as soon as I touch it, but feels slightly calmer after a few seconds in my bosom. There you are, such a good kitty. I try to soothe the kitten and gently stroke it with my thumb. When it is calm, I place it on my lap to check the collar. Moth meows, and I found a phone number that I write down on my phone. When that is done, I loosen my grip and stroke the kitten gently to make it forget my manhandling. Then I have to let go, and Moth scurries away, but I don't think we're back to square one. I leave some treats on the ground in case he comes back, and leave. Aww. Also, just getting to hold the kitten. 10 out of 10 right there. As soon as I get home, I walk into Rose's room. I got a number! Moth had one in its collar. Oh, and I followed your rule. I named it. I also forgot to mention that I named the bakery cat as well. It's Toast. What are we waiting for? Call it. I type in the number and let the signals go by. They go on for longer and longer. No answer? Doesn't appear so. I'll have to try again later. Well, keep me updated. I will. Go to work. I try to call a few more times. Eventually I give up and head out for work. There are slow news days, and then there's dead news days. I need to get something published today, or my boss will get on my case. Nope. Might as well have a stroll and see if I can at least find something worth writing about. The city, beautifully lit in the dark as I find my way down to the towpath, is probably one of the prettiest spots around here. Another advantage it has going for it is the fact that for some arcane reason, almost nobody ever goes there, rendering it a quiet place for thoughts to be had. Oh, not so quiet anymore. Hang on a moment, what's that sound? My pondering is interrupted by aggressive growling and a tremendous noise near the bridge. My curiosity is getting the better of me, and I silently walk over to check the source of the racket. Hey, buddy? In the glow of the lamplight, there's a group of cats staring at each other, hissing and swatting their paws. 4 of them seem to be working together against a somewhat larger, rougher-looking one. Could it be the same one as the other day? It looks like it, and it appears to be in trouble. Okay, first of all, no, we're not pouring water on them. I'm not gonna interrupt this. I feel like this cat would appreciate me letting it stand up for itself, so let them resolve it amongst themselves. To interfere is a sure way to get all kinds of debilitating diseases. I hang back and wait for the conversation to resolve itself. They fly at each other in a blurred frenzy of claws and bites, but a few moments later the upstarts rout and flee, leaving a lone cat torn but triumphant. Heck yeah. Satisfied that it has indeed won the field, it huffs, wary but proud in posture. I sneak closer, but it doesn't look like the cat needs or wants my help. It sits down, tending to its wounds and giving itself time to rest and recover. This cat can clearly manage on its lonesome. Roselle could certainly learn a thing or two from this. Okay, what are our feelings on Roselle? Do we want her to, not be by herself, or do we want her to be by herself? Another certainty is that every great brawler ought to have a nickname of some sort to go along with their reputation. Duke. You seem like a duke. Wonderful. Right, Duke, clearly you run this town. And it's purple. That's so good. Duke starts walking, and I follow along at a comfortable distance. We follow the canal, a part of the city I'm very familiar with. I glance at the cat, who has some minor cuts in its furs. I glance at the cat, who has some minor cuts, and the fur is even more of a mess than usual, but it doesn't seem to bother it at all. What bothers me, though, is the extensive littering, for one, and the fact that I have no idea what this cat eats, come to think of it. I don't think I have a good enough relationship with Duke to offer it some cat treats. So, garbage? A soda can distracts me from the cat. The canal is beautiful. How can people just go around littering like it's a thing to do? There's even a garbage bin right there. I put the can in my bag to recycle it later, and the other things I find go in the bin. Duke tracks me with his gaze as I clean up the place. It doesn't take long until it looks decent again. Yay! Duke stands up and sits down next to a piece of paper I'd missed. Oh, thank you. I walk up to the cat and grab the paper without really thinking about it, but we were for a moment so close we nearly touched. That gives me an idea. What's the worst thing that could happen? Sure, it's a grumpy cat, but it's not like stepping on a landmine at least. Okay, some cats though... Do you want to offer food? It's got a bit of a better reputation with me, but... I don't want to play with it. I feel like it's like it proves me cleaning as a touched cat. Okay, turns out the worst thing that happens is cat peeve to the highest degree. Then again, it's involved with a bit of a scuffle, so I suppose it was a fairly dumb idea to intrude its personal space. So visibly displeased, it makes its way to the shadows beneath the bridge. I know better than to bother it further. Dang it, I should have given him food. While it's certainly not the smoothest of friendships, I get the feeling that Duke is at least somewhat less indifferent towards me. Duke and I would have to part ways for now, but I'm looking forward to meeting it again. Once back at work, inspiration hits me. I could always write a little piece about the issue of abandoned cats around the city. Yeah! After all, I never noticed before, so bringing it to light might result in some good. Absolutely, yeah. And we got a little bit closer with Duke. That's good. Returning home in the morning, I met with a surprise. I looked into my pockets for my keys, only to find none. I must have dropped them somewhere. With resignation, I knocked steadily on the door. A short while later, Roselle opens with a surprised look on her face. She looks tired. I'm not sure if I woke her up or not, however. I dropped my keys. Oh. I'll have to go looking for them after I've had time to sleep. Are you going anywhere? No, not really. With that, we separate into our respective rooms. Oh. Go to sleep. Where did I drop my keys? Probably when I was cleaning the garbage. I go to the bakery during the afternoon this time around, as the bakery will be open on the weekend due to the move. So this will be the last time I go to this alley. During the walk, I'm sure to keep my eyes peeled in case I drop my keys here, but I'm fairly sure I didn't. I enter the bakery and I'm noticing a little nostalgic as I look around. I mean, yeah, it won't change my routine that much to go to the new place, but I'm a bit worried about Toast. I asked the owner about it when she hands me my bread. Will you bring the cat along with you to your new place? The owner gently shakes her head. There's no good place for it to stay at the new bakery, and we can't let it inside. Isn't there anyone that can take it home then? We've tried that, but it got really angry and anxious when we tried to carry it away. Oh my goodness. It really likes it with us, but when push comes to shove, we'll have no choice but to force it to leave, I'm guessing? I'm sure it'll work out somehow. Have you seen the pair of keys, by the way? I've dropped them somewhere. I haven't, but I'm sure to be on the lookout. The owner smiles reassuringly and continues on with work. I leave the bakery feeling ill at ease. Oh, hey, Toast. I walk up to Toast and notice it looks a bit uneasy, but cheers up some when it sees me. Yay! The cat must know something's going. Animals usually do. I should at least try to comfort it some before I go. Pet it gently for a while. Cuddles are the best cure for anxiety. I sit down next to its little bed and reach out my hand to caress its head. Toast closes its eyes, purring. We sit like that for a while. We can't leave Toast without anyone caring for it. It feels weird to think of the cat being anywhere else but here in this back alley. This is its home. I keep a close eye on the cat. It's looking much happier after some cuddling. A thought starts to play in my mind. What if I could take Toast home with me? Toast seems like a cat that would like most people. Sure, there might be a presumption, but I feel like we have a little bit of a special bond. I've gotten better with cats, I think, and I know Roselle owned cats in the past, so we'd be able to care for it. Our apartment is big enough, and my income isn't too bad. It could be doable. No, it's entirely doable. Let's try it out. It'll depend on if Toast likes me or the bakery more entirely. I should have given him olives! It's okay, I think every other interaction I've had has been, entirely positive, so maybe? Toast inches closer to my hand and snuggles close to it. I stroke it gently with my free hand. Spoil it with further cuddles. I roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles, a quiet joke to myself. The charm blitz is on, and there is no escaping it. I'll make Toast a happy, not-so-little cat. I begin by scratching behind the cheeks. I run my fingers through the thick fur, give it a scratch from the ears to the chin. I move my hands down to the chest and neck, digging into the fluffy chest hair. When I scratch the fur over its shoulders, I notice its front paws claw the quilt under it in comfort. The cat rolls over, exposing its tummy, and I give Toast a proper belly rub. Ooh, that's rare. Toast must feel spoiled to bits after that. The cat remains on its back, eyes closed, but then gives me a glance. The look seems to say, "Oh, you finished already? Were you supposed to be feeling bad?" Toast chases after my hand, demanding to receive more pets, even though I've been at it for minutes already. When I don't immediately comply, it looks at me with those puppy eyes. Oh! Toast certainly seems to want to keep me around, but is that enough for it to be willing to follow me home? I'd like to give the cat a little test to see. Okay, picking it up is a bad idea, and that's just picking it up with extra steps. Walk away and call for Toast to follow? Would Toast voluntarily follow me out of this alley if I just called for it? Could hardly hurt to try. I give the cat a last pat on its head to walk away, not stopping before I reach the next street. Not that far of a distance really, but it can be for a small cat. I make eye contact with Toast that eyes me curiously. Without breaking it, I crouch down and reach out with a hand. Come here, Toast! Come here. I click my tongue, knew it, and the cat watches me lazily. I call out to it again, but I don't receive even as much as a blink back. Toast seems to have no intention of making his way over here, even for pets. That's way too much work. After a while, I have to just give up. Toast won't come over. I walk back over to the bed and resume the petting, as if apologizing for even suggesting that it should move. Toast doesn't want to leave, and like the owner, I don't want to force it. The best thing would be for Toast to stay with the baker somehow. I think I have an idea growing. I snuggle that cat's cheeks and head back into the bakery. The owner looks at me with a raised eyebrow. If the cat can't stay behind the store, couldn't it stay in front of it? Maybe it could attract customers. I fiddle with my fingers, unsure what she'll think of my idea. That might just work. The cats always love people, so if we can make it a proper home by the door, then we wouldn't have to force it anywhere either. I call him Toast, by the way. I've never heard you call it by any name, so I took the liberty of naming it. The owner starts to chuckle. I never got to that. Toast, you say? Thematic. It fits strangely well. I bid my goodbye and head out again. I can't spot my keys anywhere, but I can't feel cheerful for having found a solution for Toast. I must have dropped my keys somewhere along the canal, so I'll go there next. Unless I dropped them playing with, Moth. As I get to the towpath, it's already becoming dark. I'm placing my hopes on that the setting sun will hit the keys just right and make them shine up. I keep my eyes peeled on the ground, making my way back to my workplace along the canal. A hunch makes me look back, and surely I spot Duke following me with silent steps. I wonder for how long it's been doing that. Or why. Possibly to keep an eye on anyone in its turf? The cat keeps stalking me at a slight distance, and I ignore it the best I can. My keys are a top priority right now. I walk the entire towpath without spotting them. I guess I'll walk back, check some of the busier areas more carefully. I spot that Duke has stopped following me, is playing with something next to the edge of the canal. Good that it's keeping itself entertained. I guarantee it's playing with my keys. I'm a bit curious as to what would interest Duke. If my keys can wait this long, they can wait a little longer. The cat is sitting right next to the water and poking at something casually, almost like it doesn't want to admit that it's playing. When I get closer, I get a better look at the object. Wait! Those are my keys Duke is playing with! Knew it! I can't believe the cat managed to find them. I don't have the time to take a sigh of relief, for the cat pokes the keys so they inch closer to their watery doom. I must do something quick to prevent a catastrophe from happening. Oh, okay. If I take this too slow, Duke's gonna drop the keys. But if I rush, Duke's also gonna drop the keys. So maybe the middle ground, walk up and grab them? Duke is no stranger anymore. I call out to the cat and simply walk up to it. Duke looks up to me and watches me curiously as I bend down and grab the keys. Oh, thank goodness. Good job finding them, Duke. There, crisis averted. My keys are found and secured, and Duke doesn't appear to hate me. Hang out a little? Hang out a little. The sun is still setting, and I got no work tomorrow either, so I can safely stay a little longer and spend some time with Duke. I make sure to sit comfortably next to the cat. We both bask in the sun's last moment. I have a feeling that Duke isn't really much for cuddling or playing, but prefers just the company. I find it really sweet that someone like Duke would enjoy my company. How far we've gotten. Not a long time ago, it would have been crazy to be this close to Duke. The cat would probably have killed me, literally. That must mean he trusts me pretty well now. The sun disappears on the horizon, and reluctantly I make the decision that it's time to leave. I hesitate before reaching out my hand and give Duke a pat on the head before I stand up. See you around. I turn and start to walk away with steady steps. Ah! I walk down the very familiar towpath. I wonder how Rosella's doing at home. After a while, I recognize faint footsteps behind me and turn around to see the Duke is still following me. I shrug, thinking it'll stop eventually, but as I leave the towpath, it's still following me. You coming with me, huh? Duke responds by following along all the way to my door. This is my stop. Duke has stopped and is looking at me, waiting. Having said goodbye, I open the door, only for Duke to waltz on in like it owns the place. Oh my gosh, we didn't get a Toast, we did get a Duke. Can we get all is there an ending where you get all three of them? I need to experiment. Duke immediately starts to investigate the room, walking along all the walls and jumping on the furniture. We'll have to set up house rules eventually if it really wants to stay. Ro, can you come out here for a second? After a moment, Roselle makes her way out of the room, rubbing her eyes. What is it? I look at Duke, and for the first time, she notices the cat. What? I know, right? It followed me home. Duke eyes the new human suspiciously from a spot on the sofa. Ro crouches down next to it and starts to work her magic. It doesn't take long for Duke to soften up to her. Aww. We need to get it some things if it's to stay here. The shops are closed now, but I can get everything first thing tomorrow. I can make you a list. We should also get it checked by a vet since it's a stray. I bet it'll love that. Maybe not, but we have to make sure it's healthy. Much has happened today, so I decide to head to bed early and I leave them to bond for themselves. I've bought the new things, so I'm heading out for my Sunday stroll. By the look of this morning, Duke and Roselle are getting along well, so I'm not the slightest bit worried over leaving them alone. As I near the pedestrian street, I peel my eyes, trying to spot a certain kitten. I'll most likely find it in its usual spot, but I don't trust it to not have moved. I see the tree in the distance and it grows closer as I walk. There's no kitten to be seen. I reach the corner and circle around the tree, but I can't see Moth. Maybe it actually got home. If that would be the case, it'd be great. The meow crushes my hopes and I look around, still not spotting it. The next meow I can tell comes from above, and I look up. Oh, Moth is stuck in the tree! Moth looks down at me from a high-up branch in the tree. What's it doing up there? It doesn't look very safe. I haven't climbed a tree in ages, but I did it some back in the day. Except for the first part, it looks like a pretty easy climb. So you need to come down on its own first. Let her have some space. It isn't certain the moth really is stuck, and it would be a shame to do anything risky if it wasn't necessary. I'll try and see if it'll come down on its own first. I stand next to the trunk and call to the kitten. Here, Moth! Moth meows back, and I see it moving its paws slightly, but not moving away from the spot high up in the tree. After trying some more, giving the kitten some time, I figure it must actually be stuck. It's possible that it's just too scared of people to come down, but when is Paris ever empty? I have to do something. It needs my help. There's probably not gonna be anything around. Like, this tree looks pretty empty, and obviously, yeah, visual novel, it's gonna be hiding things, but climbing using raw power is definitely gonna scare Moth, so call an arborist, maybe? Tree climbing on its own is one thing, rescuing kittens from trees is another. I search for animal rescue on my phone, and I find an arborist in the area that also rescues cats. I call, since it's a kitten, he wants to come by as quickly as possible. Young animals tire much quicker than adults do, and I don't know for how long Moth's been up there. Still, it will take some time before he can get here. Whilst I wait, I keep a keen eye on the cat in case the situation should worsen. Happily, it doesn't. The arborist shows up and prepares his ascent with his ropes, and then hauls himself up. Soon he is up at the same height as Moth. The kitten tries to escape further out on the branch, but the man grabs it, and despite his protests, puts the kitten in his rope bag and shuts it. He straps the bag to his belt, securing the cat and the descent without a hitch. He puts the bag on the ground, opening it, but doesn't want to stick his fingers in after hearing a very angry hissing noise. Neither does Moth want to get out of the bag on its own. The bag would feel safe from all the people around. Not really a problem, though. I've got this. I don't want to reach into the bag, it's gonna murder me, but offer food? The key to every shut-in's heart lies in its stomach. I grab the treats and hold one out near the opening of the bag. See, what would I have done if I'd bought olives? Huh? Would I have fed Moth olives? I hear a rustling noise and spot a small nose sticking out of the opening, sniffing the air. Somebody's interested. I take it closer and drop it inside the bag. It doesn't take long before I hear the crunching from Moth eating it. It's not long before the nose reappears, already smelling for more. I hold out another piece, and without hesitation it leaps out to steal it. I drop some treats on the ground and watch Moth eat them with a ravenous appetite. It must have been hungry. The arborist is out what he came to do and leaves with his bag after I thank him. He didn't even want compensation for helping the kitten. When my treat supply has been exhausted, I gently pick the kitten up and put it in my arms. Yay! We can't have it running off. Not that I think it would, it's very tired. After a few seconds being safe in my arms on the ground, the kitten falls asleep. I look at it curiously and stroke it gently over its back. It's almost surreal. Yeah, kitten holding is like the best feeling. Now I'm faced with what to do next. I've rescued Moth from the tree, but I don't want to let the kitten go again. Take the kitten home. Take the kitten home. I don't want to be uncertain whether or not it has a warm place to sleep and food to eat. I'll take it home with me. We can look for its owner, and if we don't find anyone, Moth will stay with us. There has to be an ending where you get to keep Toast too. There has to be. I just screwed it up. Oh. The kitten wakes up just before I get home, but is still sleepy. At the door, I decide to knock and wait. I hear Ro walk across the room and she opens the door for us. Oh my goodness, look at Duke! A surprise! You have to stop just bringing cats home. Think about my heart! I'll try to keep that in mind. It looks tired. Is it okay? I found it stuck in a tree. It took some time to get it down. Poor thing. How long was it up there? No idea. Anyway, let's take it to my room and let it rest and eat. We should keep the cats separated for some time too, so they can get used to each other. Cats need some time for that. Will you take Moth then? I don't want to leave Duke on his own. She nods and I carefully hand over the kitten. Moth looks a little worried at first, but Ro manages to calm him down in no time at all. She leaves and I throw myself on the sofa, enjoying Duke's quiet company. Sometime later. Oh, the yarn ball! It took some time before Duke and Moth learned to know each other, but now they are inseparable. Ow! Moth sticks to the older cat day and night, and Duke is starting to look like a proud parent, teaching the kitten everything it knows. Thanks to that and Ro's efforts, we don't have a shy kitten anymore, but a bold, playful young cat that lives its life to the fullest. Aww! The cats aren't the only ones that have shown improvement. Roselle's looking much better nowadays. I knock against her doorframe before entering. Hey Jay, what's up? Not much, Ro. How was the lecture? She went to class! Yay! It was alright, I suppose. Interesting content, but a bad presenter. Well, ain't that university in a nutshell? Oh, yeah, it sure is. That and overpriced course literature, yes. Say, I've got no more studying to do today. I don't suppose you fancy going out in the town? Maybe grab an ice cream or something? Yes! You're already done? To think you once had me thinking you'd drop out. It took a lot of work to catch up, so I'm gonna do things properly this time. Let's celebrate then and get that ice cream. Maybe go to the bakery and go see Toast. Ro and I say goodbye to the cats, knowing that they'll manage by themselves. We set out on our walk, chatting and enjoying the sun. Ro and I banter, joke, and laugh our way through Paris, just like old times. Aww. Oh! Yeah, oh. So, these are all the pictures that we took of the cats. I'm guessing there's different pictures we can probably take all of them. This is probably the, like, worst case scenario, middle case scenario, best case scenario, because that's about how I did with these cats when I got their pictures. But give me just a minute. I'm gonna take a sec to compile my thoughts, and I will be right back with my review. Alrighty, I've got my numbers all mathed out here. Well, okay, math, that was a strong term. I'm not actually doing math here, but, you know. For the story, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It was really cute, but I would also love some more information on what happened with Roselle, why she's been shut in for so long, like, why is she sad? And, like, but I do love how, as you're sending pictures of cats, as you're giving more information, she has to open up a bit more. Like, that's really sweet. That felt so good. The plot of the game, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Absolutely great story. I love when games choices have consequences. Speaking of gameplay, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm not normally a visual novel person, but this one was really cute. And again, choices that matter. I love that. But it is 90% reading and making a choice based off of what you read and what you've been doing. So it's not super complicated, but it has impact, and I appreciate that. Concept execution is gonna get a 6 out of 10. There were a lot of grammar problems. I think most of them I mentally corrected, but there were some that they tripped me up really badly. And then there were also some things that felt right. There were a lot of time skips. It was just like, yeah, work was good. Boom, it's the next day. And, like, I understand that, yeah, you need to have some time skips to have the flow of time work. But I think it also could have been interesting to have maybe a choice or two to make at work to kind of impact maybe your mood, and that would affect what choices you have available. I feel like that'd be an interesting path to explore. Art style, 10 out of 10. It's so cute. And there's cats. I'm very biased towards cats, but they're adorable. They're so cute. I mean, open the gallery. Look at those smooshed face. You can't tell me that's not a 10 out of 10. Overall, though, I'd give this game an 8 out of 10. It's really cute. It took me a little over an hour to play. And I'm assuming one ending. Because you can't tell me that there's not an ending where you scare off all of the cats and you don't take any of them home. But there's gotta be an ending where you only get Duke, or you only get Toast, or you only get Moth, or you get some other combination of them. Like, I'm very curious about what those endings look like, and I'm definitely gonna be playing this again to try and get those outcomes. But yeah, if you want to check it out, this game is called Cateau. It is for free. It is on Steam. Yeah. Thanks for watching along, and I will be back next week with more Freebie Friday. Until then, if you enjoyed, be sure to drop a follow so you can find me again. Otherwise, goodbye!